Things at Blizzard have heated up quite a lot. We got interesting tweets coming out, weird stuff going on with prior employees, and now an ex-VFX lead at Blizzard just revealed his horrifying experience as to why he quit at Blizzard. Oh, jeez. Is the roof falling down? Is the floor falling out? Is everything about to come to an end? Probably not. But let's see what this guy had to say.
HR people are demons, apparently.
Some of
Specifically
them are.
these ones, somehow, maybe. But I'm sure you've seen the story. But this is one specific artist
the tears
on
down
the
my
Watch
face.
team having a very, very, very bad
So I think the way for us to do this is basically story time. Do you want to read or should I read?
You go for it. You have a
Okay.
better voice than I do.
It's time. Well, bullshit. It's time to read the thing from the dude. Okay. I want to start by saying that all the people I got to work with in Team 4, just Overwatch 2, were incredible. They were warm, welcoming, fun, friendly.
This guy worked on Overwatch 2 already. I could tell why everything was so bad.
So there were so many
Okay.
great people on my team championing me. I'm so grateful for this support. Unfortunately, however, I spent most of a year stressed out of my mind working 4 people's jobs at once and having management make promises that they had no intention of fulfilling, and I ultimately felt like I had no choice but to leave for my own mental health.
Well, okay, you're working the jobs of 4 people, management being dicks. It sounds like he's working for every corporation in America. that doesn't sound unique to Blizzard. But hey,
In
let's
July
see if anything else
2023,
happens.
I was invited to a meeting by art leadership and production to let me know they were interested in promoting me to lead VFX artist on the cosmetics team,
Oh,
skins,
nice.
emotes,
Promotion.
play of the games, etc. I'd only been there for 6 months, and I told them basically, if you're sure, lol. But before accepting, I was adamant that we'd be on the same page about the role, what it meant, what I'd be doing, and also that the promotion, what would it come with? Pay increase, title change, that sort of
I
thing,
hope
and
a
get
pay
all of those
increase.
details confirmed before they go further. Which all sounds reasonable. Okay.
Yeah.
How could
Don't tell me they wanted to promote him and not give him a. Hey, man, congratulations. We're giving you more jobs, more shit to do. Oh, hold on. Let me move my little box, too. I'm blocking Bellular. Let me give you more shit to do and the same pay. Yeah, more responsibility, same pay. That's a good one.
this possibly go wrong? These conversations included other lead VFX, art directors, associate art directors, production directors, and HR.
His name is
Sideways.
Welsh.
No wonder nothing gets done in big companies.
Yeah.
And as we were all happy, I started the job effective immediately with the details to come at the end of the week in writing.
That was his first mistake.
Oh, no.
The new rule, or the rule,
Put it in
was
writing, boys.
all my existing responsibilities and workload as a senior, becoming line manager of 3 people immediately, managing our entire outsourced VFX pipeline in China, plus additional lead things, plannings, and much more
I'm
meetings.
so tired just imagining that.
That's fucking stupid and wrong.
Oh, no.
Hello, artist. Would you like to be a manager? Those two are entirely the same thing.
The point is, when you're doing leading, you have less capacity to,
Yeah, you lead instead
yeah.
of work.
Yeah.
yeah, you,
Which is you lead instead of work. You know what I mean?
the mix of that is supposed to change, because if you're sitting there always stressed out about your
Leaders, you gotta start funneling the work out to other people. You start managing other people's dockets, managing other people's shit. That's how being a leader works. Trust me, I know. I'm a leader of leaders. That's how I roll, right? So you do less work yourself. You gotta have other people doing the work. That's part of being a leader. So this guy, I mean, what he described, yes, he was taking on a significant leadership role. But what does it come with? I think he's gonna say that they didn't increase his pay.
basic
What up,
work
Addison?
load, all of your existing responsibilities, and now you've got a whole bunch of other responsibilities, but those are responsibilities where you're going to have a sort of multiplicative negative impact on other people if you're this is okay, already we've fucking ran into problems.
It also implies
fine
that
if they paid him more.
all of my existing responsibilities and workload as a senior must have been taken up at 40% of his time.
yeah.
If you room for all this
So-
on top, like.
I mean, already we have a few confusions. Now then, Friday comes, and instead what happens is the production director announces the promotion to lead to the whole team on Thursday. It's official. It's happening. The whole team knows. I even tweeted about it because I'm so
Nice.
excited. We're all Gucci. he just got here. They sent an email out at work announcing my position to the team, and everyone was so nice and saying nice things. And clearly was like, oh, I suppose I've been promoted.
Good times. Happy days.
The good old work email. Yep, he's made it. He's promoted.
Okay. On my first week, my new manager tells me we're going to have to fire one of my new reports because he won't return to the office. Me.
Nice.
He is waiting for medical.
I cannot reveal, some of the things I know. But yes, this has been happening a lot. Return to office has led to a lot of people just straight up holding out and not returning to the office, which has led to them getting fired. That happens. It's happening everywhere, all across America. Yeah, some people are like, fuck that, I'm not going in.
Accommodations because he's a carer for his parents. Them, yeah, laughing, we're not doing that for a junior.
Nice.
So already we're in ghoulish hell.
Dehumanizing of juniors.
The point is, like, yes, RTO might be the policy, but you should probably have some sort of reasonable accommodation so that you retain talent.
Talent?
Hell no.
Like, as an example,
Talent trees? What?
we have hired some roles that are specifically remote because the people are not in the country. Two of our people, one is mostly, like here, mostly remote. Another kind of does a bit of both. But if we just said, you got to come and work here now, that would be like one of the most self-defeating things we could do. Could you imagine how quickly we would self-defeat if we did that?
Yeah, we would say you have to go to the office, and they would say...
Well, the whole thing, remember when we talked about it in another video previously, was the overfire, overhire mentality, where people just, all these companies way overhired during COVID when shit was popping off and the numbers were high, especially in the games industry and tech industry, and now they overhire, so they have to overfire. Part of that whole thing, I really feel like, was the return to the office shit, return to work, all that stuff. The companies knew some people were going to quit because of it, or some people got hired out of state or across the country. They don't live close enough to return to the office, so they're counting on it. It's part of their attrition that they're hoping happens. Is that whoever doesn't want to come back, they can quit. We're gonna have to fire people anyways, so fuck it. Let them leave, and that's part of the whole return to office shit.
Well, I don't want to do that, and they were like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
And the thing is, even if they did that, because I know why they are working flexibly and I know why it's beneficial to their lives and therefore beneficial to us as well. It's like it's just the most efficient thing.
We have just made your life worse because we have a rule that we follow, and the waiting is probably your life worse, your work worse, more so probably.
Why the big, humongous policies? Why not a little bit of flexibility?
Because they have to pay for the offices.
Yeah, and they want people to leave. They don't want to be flexible.
It probably is.
Oh, well,
Probably
okay.
is.
That's stupid. And it's like maybe that junior, in a year or two won't be a junior anymore. So okay.
Wait. The future?
Yeah. No.
What?
No.
That's no one in any managerial position ever thinks about the future.
So let's continue with Chris. Another lead in the team offers to deliver the news because it's my first week as lead.
No, I will shoot the dog for you. Don't worry.
And the person we're supposed to fire is one of my closest friends in the team.
Oh.
He is given until the end of the month to either relocate or leave. We're all distraught. So that's all very cool. I'm now doing my senior role, my lead role, and all the work that this great VFX artist was doing. So this...
Great.
So he was already at, let's say, 80%. Yeah. Now he's doing multiple other jobs. Now he's doing this person's job as well.
Jeez.
I mean, what's this people saying there's a tight labor market?
It's all okay if they raised his pay. I'm not reading ahead. I'm letting the man cook. I'm letting Bellular cook, so I'm not reading down. You guys can if you want to. If they raised his pay, significantly, probably, then all this added responsibility is okay because, with more money comes more problems. Yeah, that's how work is. So if they raise his pay, then hey, fuck it. He's doing 2 jobs. He's getting paid double. Okay, that makes sense.
There's obviously so many jobs to go around. This motherfucker's hoarded 4 of them for himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good that you get paid for all of the jobs, right? Yeah.
Chris, you stole all the jobs.
Yeah, Chris is the reason.
So even though, they refused to hire an intern, another one of they refused to hire an intern. Another one of my reports is incredibly talented. We all love. So I had the work. They were going to do to my plate.
Oh, they had a free trial person.
Free trial. A month goes by. I suppose that's the thing, what sort of like a money back guarantee that comes with your.
Yeah.
Yes, it's. I suppose it's the idea of if you break it, you buy it. Doesn't really apply to humans, does it?
No,
No, not
no, no, unfortunately.
A month goes by, and I have now sent an email or a Slack message every other day to find out what's happening with the pay increase and the title change. I have to wait till August because that's when the promotions happen. Don't worry, it's happening. Then I discover I'm earning less than 50% of every other VFX lead artist at Blizzard.
I would fucking... What's it called? I would falling down that bitch so quick. So...
Damn, how do you figure that out? Usually people don't talk about that stuff. That's like a taboo thing to talk about salary for that very reason. Because sometimes one thing that kind of sucks is like some people will get hired into a position of that somebody else has been working for 5 years, and that somebody will be paid like a little bit more than the person who's been there 5 years already. Just because the market has changed and adjusted, and the company ain't going to adjust your shit that you're already there. They're going to do it for somebody else to try to bring in. So I don't know how he figured it out. People, I guess, were open about their salaries, but that usually doesn't happen.
Oh, quick, come on. Oh, my God.
So much so that as a lead, my salary is lower than every other person I'm managing. I send more emails, and I'm told because I'm in the UK, my salary is based on market value, not my value. This is the one thing.
Brit debuff, like.
It's the one thing where, like, that. See.
This actually does happen, even with not just across countries, but across states. I know, like, there are companies that will have locations and, have employees in California, and they'll have employees in other states, and the employees in California will get paid more for the same job just because of, cost of living and job market and what it costs to get somebody in California versus somebody else. And, that shit happens. That's real. So I believe everything this guy's saying so far.
Oh, God.
That's an interesting thing, though.
Yeah, because it makes complete sense. But also is fucking
the
ridiculous.
military does it too? Wow.
But it's not like the people in Cali dealing with California rent, rent expenses and all of that. It's not as if they,
Yeah, they don't have 50% extra
disposable
income.
Yes.
Yeah. But they are getting 50% more money. And you're like, I don't think this global working thing really fucking makes any sense.
If you live around,
I think someone's looking and going, what?
Yeah, cost of living certainly plays into it, no doubt. I mean, that's why I won't move to California. Like, I could go tomorrow to California and make more money, but what the fuck would be the point? My house would cost 3 times as much. My car would cost more. Everything's more. Gas is more expensive. Food is more expensive. I wouldn't do that. Plus, that's not what I would want. Make more and pay more at the same time. I'm good where I am.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, remember the way he talked about there being an outsourcing, team they're outsourcing to in China?
I wonder why. Yeah. Oh, also, that's why Microsoft's busted anyways.
I wonder why they're outsourcing to China.
I wonder
what percentage of his pay they're getting over there. But I also wonder what percentage of his expenses they have over there. I literally have no idea what it's like over there at all. So, anyway, so that's all pretty cool. Yeah. I asked HR if it's ethically okay to pay me less than 50% of every other person doing the same job. They say, why would we pay more than we have to? That doesn't make any business sense.
Business sense, ethics, yes, one and the same.
Doesn't give a shit about people. Well, the thing is, the amount of money that... A lot of this is just why California is not a particularly... I mean, in some ways, it's an amazing place to do a company like this. In other ways, it's a terrible place to do a company like this.
Yeah. It's very complicated.
But there's a bit of me that does look at at least that bit and be like, well, maybe you are actually due a pay rise. Sure.
Yeah. So I'm guessing he is eventually going to get a pay raise of some sort. His mistake was he goes, I realized I'm talking to a person who doesn't give a shit about people. Yeah, that was his first mistake, thinking that the company gave a shit about people. It's literally the CEO and the C-suite employees' fiduciary duty to do what it takes to make the company more money for the shareholders. That is required of them. That's part of their job. Not to be nice. Not to care about the employees. Those things are not required. And it's almost like anti that. Because if treating the employees like shit or chopping the employees, down without regard for who they are, what they do, who they're feeding at night, what's going on. And that makes the company more money. They're like obligated to do that shit. If they don't, then they're not doing their job. It's kind of sad, but it's true.
Negotiate that shit.
It's not almost, it is
But
that. Yeah, it is that.
We should probably live in reality.
Exactly.
And in that reality, when you're hiring somebody in California, you are dealing with that currency. You're dealing with that purchasing power. When you're doing that in another country, you're dealing with different shit.
Yeah.
Like, them's the breaks.
Yeah. So
And I know that sounds kind of heartless,
So then
but
why do they have the return to office policy for people when you could actually have them live in cheaper places and pay them a lot less?
I mean, shit, I just fucking get rid of all the Californians and hire the Brits.
Yeah, that's the first
Then the Brits will
instinct.
start competing with each other, and then their numbers will go up. There you go. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be heartless on that, but
Yeah,
It's
You know,
true,
there's
yeah.
more to it than
like
that.
like it does literally come up against this doesn't make any sense. Right, how do you navigate this? Why is the job worth different based on where you are?
Well,
And then you go, the world's complicated.
I was so
The
confused.
world's complicated and we haven't figured out how to navigate that in any way that's reasonable.
another
Yep.
one that passes. We'll get to August, and it turns out, nope, it's actually September for the same reason. Don't worry, it's coming. It's definitely a promotion. It's definitely a pay increase. Continue to be overworked, exhausted, but hopeful. Brackets full. Again, it's like the...
Yeah, I know people. Yeah, a company that wants to make money, but they don't want to have that same mindset and want to guilt trip and manipulate. Yeah, look, we are family here. Yeah, I just like that stuff. Honestly, we're a family. Come on, I hate that whole like that culture, family, all that stuff. It's a bunch of BS because at the end of the day, they're just going to hack and slash where they have to without regard for who gets hurt or what happens from it. So no, we're not. We're not family. Do we have a mutual relationship where I do work, you pay me for said work, I can live a good life? If you're paying me enough, yeah, of course, that's fine. As long as we both understand that we have a good working relationship, that's fine. But the drop the family line and all that shit and mental health, come on.
number of alleged jobs
It's about the
here
profit.
it is getting off the charts.
Yes.
Sam confirms
sure
he's tired of being her
Another
dad.
few weeks pass, and it's getting to 3 months of being a lead. Send an email out to everyone, directors, VPs, HRs, leads, you name it, telling
3
them
months.
that if there's no written information by September 1st, I'll stop doing the role immediately. And then suddenly, oh my god, wow. Suddenly people had something to say. So HR had not responded. I thought that was their job,
HR respond?
being on top of this
HR is
sort of
inept
thing.
all the time.
No, but they're no.
Manipulation tactics. Yeah.
So, yes, they finally invite for a quick call, and then they say, what promotion? I have no idea what you're talking about.
What about the job I was doing for the past 3 months? What?
It's like, how about you ask the team in China who I'm managing?
Yeah.
At this point, raise a formal complaint. I had months of messages, emails that I sent to HR explaining this, and they finally reply with, you seem to be confused. There is no promotion. Leadership is leadership is a lateral move.
Wow.
That's interesting. It's
Wow.
just a change of responsibilities. There is no pay increase.
It's just a change of responsibilities. You've gone from having 6 responsibilities to 15. Just a change.
It's just a
Wow.
change, bro. It's fine.
Fucking hell.
I was livid, naturally, and
Yeah, leadership is a lateral move. Yeah. Yeah, how the hell did that, who came up with that shit, put that shit in writing, was like, yeah, that's a good idea, let's do that. How's leadership a freaking lateral move? What an idiot. Look, there is a thing where, like, you slowly, it's not always, like, more responsibility, more pay. Like, there is that window where you kind of get tested, right? Where you start to get a little bit more, because they want to see if you can handle it before you get that increase, right? Before you get that pay raise. Okay, that's fine. I could deal with that. And, then the promotion comes and everything else with it. Okay, cool. We can do that. But to say leadership, like, they acknowledge that his position has changed. He has changed. He is now in a leadership position. They acknowledge that. And he moved into a leadership position. But they're trying to say that it was a lateral move. Oh, my God. I can't believe somebody signed off on sending that out. That's ridiculous.
That's what any normal, rational human would. Why would anyone want that promotion?
Yeah. Human resources is not your friend. Ever. HR works for the company. They don't work for the humans. No. Don't ever think that. They're not on your side. Trust me. I've been laid off before. HR was fucking ruthless. I mean, they cut that shit out. They cut that cord quick. 8 months. I was 8 months out of school. It sucked.
Which obviously they then did the old, I can see you're frustrated. I can see how you misinterpreted this. I was right. I, the human resources, who writes the reality.
What's your job? I am an HR. My job title is professional gaslighter.
I could see how you misinterpret. It's like HR had the Infinity Gauntlet. They were like igniting that, what's it called? The reality stone. You know, changing everything around them. They're like, I can see how you believe this was your future. You were wrong. And then they click it again, and it's just everything's on fire around. Sorry about that. You were wrong.
Shared brain cell again.
Yeah.
We'll definitely not talk about the last instance of our shared brain cell.
You're actually in a shithole.
Oh, no.
The investigation from the formal complaint comes back after a few weeks and says, after careful deliberations, HR did nothing wrong and followed all the processes correctly.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Wow.
that is that just all of his emails were immediately deleted.
Yeah.
So I handed in my resignation an hour later, but it doesn't end there because no, HR then told me that because of my role as lead, I had gained inexplicable knowledge that would put me as a business risk to work anywhere else. So they're activating a non-compete clause that restricts me from working anywhere at all for 3 months.
Wow, is that shit even legal in Britain? I don't know how Britain's laws work, but a lot of these non-compete agreements that have been determined to be illegal. You get a lot of this is how American law works. A lot of times you can take these non-competes to court and get them taken away because that's bullshit. No company should be able to stop you from getting a job, legitimately restricting you from using your skills. That's ridiculous. I don't know how the law works in England, but that's some bullshit.
Rightly thinking, oh, that's a pay 3 months, right? You can't stop.
It's only the same field. Yeah, the only field that you have skills in. The field that where he's supposed to go work is a fucking changing diapers in a daycare. What the hell? Yeah, it's total bullshit. Yeah.
Incorrect. Completely legal.
This was a big thing in the legal industry. Like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, like non-competes were like a big thing. You work at a law firm, and then you'd have to sign a non-compete, and if you left that firm for whatever reason, you could not work like anywhere in the same city. And a lot of fuck with an attorney find out. A lot of times these attorneys started taking this shit to court, and they were finding like you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't stop somebody from making a living. And so it's literally like goes against civil liberties. You cannot fucking stop somebody from seeking gainful employment. But again, this is in England. I have no idea how their laws work.
Legal because get fucked.
That is exactly what they did, and unfortunately,
Yes, unless they pay you. Exactly, Tundra Fees. If they continue to pay him for 3 months to stop him from working somewhere else, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
completely legal.
But that's not
because
usually
get
how it
fucked.
works.
That is a very, very good sentence. I can see that being used in a lot of cases.
And the amount of times like people, just weird ghoulish shit in software.
Yeah.
I like the employee monitoring stuff that a lot of these companies like.
Yeah.
It's like
The whole fire you and pay you shit only exists for people who don't need the money. It's usually like CEOs and shit, or like Bobby Kodaks of the world that get that golden parachute where they get laid off, but they get paid for like years. They get a bunch of stock dividends or something as a result. Like that shit only exists for the people who don't need the money, right? Like the people who actually would need a golden parachute never get it. So that shit probably ain't happening.
Yeah.
I mean, they would certainly
Look at how angry
inspire
Sam's.
people to say things against the community guidelines.
That's just
Certainly.
bullshit.
We do not condone.
I don't condone.
Because they are the guidelines of the community. Community, obviously, Matt, you and I have shown such great respect to during this stream.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so shitty with the
I
red
just
collar.
love it's like
I personally
because your
experienced
role
some
as
of
a
this
lead,
shit.
which by the way you never actually had like officially.
No, he
you
did. It was
kinda-
lateral and he misinterpreted it.
Oh yeah. There wasn't a promotion. It was
Chris
a lateral
Sayers
lead.
should have been Chris Hearers.
That's right.
Should
All
be
that
Chris
saying-
Understanders.
All that saying, all that hearing. Yeah, this is. I'd falling down this big time. Like I would straight up.
I don't even know what that
I'd be
means.
flipping
that's
tables.
A movie.
What up, Packer?
That's a movie from the 90s where Michael. Oh my God, what's his name? The actor. he has a bad day, and he
Like, I wonder if he still had the email that the company sent out. You remember how he said, like, they sent out, like, a company-wide email saying that now he is now the VFX lead or whatever? Usually those emails start with, John Doe has been promoted to, lead dildo manufacturer. Like, usually the words promoted are in there. I wonder if he still had that email where he could show it, like, what do you mean it's lateral? Literally says promoted in the email, because what the hell was the email going to say if it's honestly a lateral move? John Doe has been lateraled to lead dildo production. Like, what? What the hell is he talking about? What are they talking about? For sure the word promotion was in there. Unless they're honest to God scumbags and they were playing the long game, they already knew this shit was happening and they didn't put the promoted in the email. Who knows? I wonder
takes
what
his
that email
frustrations
said.
on the word around him. I would do that. I would definitely.
Yeah,
follow
Sam's
him.
dream job. Yeah,
I
exactly.
would be in that bodega. I'd be in that convenience store. Michael Douglas, yeah.
Got to make sure
I'd be
it's
in
high
that
quality.
convenience store with a baseball bat. Easy time. I would be pointing that weapon at the.
That's true. Maybe they maybe they went with the we'd like to congratulate so and so on his John Doe on his new position, lead dildo manufacturer. Yeah, that could have been how they worded the email. Maybe. You're right. So maybe they never said the word promoted.
Staff.
I'd be fucking
100%.
That's just my inner. I'd be fucking going through every email, just Insta word searching promoted to find it in any email and be like, shut the fuck up. You said promoted in this email. What are you talking about?
100%. No two ways about it.
That's why you don't put it in writing,
I
boys.
said I can't survive for 3 months without pay. I have a mortgage, and they looked me in the eye and said, "Well, you probably shouldn't have signed the contract then."
Wow.
Nerd. Literally scares you.
Wow.
It's like, you can't deal with.
Then I was locked out of Slack and email, and that was the end.
Yeah, just locked out the phone.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, I can't. It's going to be amazing because the next lead in that team is going to be a lead, his job, the fired dude's job, probably the intern's job, and also be running the team at China, and I just keep on going.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's
That's the problem. That's actually, Matt, that's the conspiracy. There's actually plenty of jobs to go around. It's just these people keep on hoarding them.
That's right. Like,
Yeah.
that's a bit right.
Yeah, so he did sign something. I don't know what the hell the contract was that he signed, but yeah, to sign it and not having anything in there about increase in salary or anything, it'd be weird. Of course, when he said he was getting the promotion, he should have looked into that. But unfortunately, this man made a serious mistake, and that mistake was believing that the company was on his side and was going to take care of him. That was his biggest mistake.
That's some crazy stuff.
I hated
Other
reading this.
people support him by purchasing mentoring sessions and portfolio reviews, which does, it seem, mean that he was able to get over.
Yeah, they're all
the
like this.
Obvious period
part.
of very messed up financial, turmoil. So did not go into debt, which is very good. And that's, yeah. This is peak, this is just peak big company stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why has this bad thing happened? And the answer is bad process. No one gives a shit. I mean, people give a shit about the art, the work, but you kind of look at this and you're like, well, corporate probably don't give a shit. HR probably don't give a shit because if they actually did give a shit,
Actually, Canadian company.
maybe you would be doing things for like a net benefit.
A what?
Yeah, go
Net
work at a
benefit.
maple syrup factory.
So much of this is just like, congratulate. I want to, what was it? Cutting your nose to spite.
Despite your cut your nose off despite your face. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the term. That's the phrase. And you go, what the?
Yeah, this
But
guy
that's
got
how it
screwed.
all operates, right? That's how so much of this. Like, I've seen people say, I obviously don't know much about corporate America. I'm not an American. Have never been to America.
I'll be honest too. This guy outing all this shit. One issue with this is a lot of these companies are buddy. Even if they compete against each other, there's almost it's like a fraternity of top 500 Fortune 500 companies or whatever, where this guy's kind of blackballing himself. I'm not gonna lie. He might get hired by some indie dev company or something, or some new startup maybe. What's their name? Pixel Castle, whatever the hell. Maybe they'll hire him because they're kind of the opposite of Blizzard or whatever. But these larger game dev companies, he'll probably this guy probably won't get hired anymore because of what he did, because he put all this shit out there. It sucks, but it's the truth. Like, if you get mistreated by a company and you go public with that shit and say things, you better be ready to have a difficult time getting another job at another big company. It's sad, but it's true. I work at a Class 1 railroad. There has never been a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. It's exact. That's funny. It's every industry has it. I'm telling you. Blowing the whistle never works well. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Look at you get basically if you're an American in this chat and you know anything about the NFL, you get Colin Kaepernick essentially. Yeah, better be careful.
Want to be in America because it sounds horrible, especially never work there. That sounds awful. Maybe
Which
I'll
is
change my
working,
mind at some point.
Which is why, like, this is not the first time this shit happened, but a lot of times people will be scared to say. I would be. I wouldn't say shit. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't. I'll be honest. I have a family to feed, a mortgage to pay, a lot of shit to take care of. I'll be looking for another job in the industry. The last thing I'm going to do is go, air out all this shit because I would feel like I'm going to kill my career, and I can't afford to do that. Hey, but maybe streaming takes off. Who knows?
But like, it just seems like this is it. The HR aren't humans. Could you imagine trying to work here? Could you imagine being like, I'm going to work here and I'm going to have a great time. I'm going to get a promotion. I've been offered a promotion. I'm going to get a pay rise for my promotion. I know what that does.
You're going to get lateral.
That means I have more stakes. That means I have more disposable income. That means I can maybe I'm liking here more. I'm more involved. I have more skin in the game. I can do more things. This sounds great. Mm-hmm. And then someone goes, actually, you're not going to pay rise. Just working yourself to death. For why?
Yeah.
For no fucking reason.
No
And
reason.
you can see why you'd be like, well, I'm just going to leave. And I'm assuming this is the case in a lot of places across like corporate America and most corporation stuff. I'm sure it's horrible everywhere. But in video games, if this is worse, you're like, if this is what it's like, why would you work here? Why would you not simply work somewhere else that isn't shit?
Yeah, it gets to the stage of like, just go to a more mature industry.
Yeah. Go to
That's-
somewhere where the
it's
HR
not-
people aren't literal demons.
It's always like this. It's almost like, I'll be on. Where I work is great. I've had good experiences. I'm very happy with it. It's good. But to ever think that a company is going to choose you over profit, that's not going to happen. If they can lateral somebody into a leadership, I fucking use their language. If they can lateral somebody into a leadership position and pay them the same amount to do triple the work, of course they're going to do it. Of course they're going to do it. Now, they didn't get away with it here, but I guarantee you the guy behind him, he might be okay with it. He might do it. He might think, hey, maybe one day I'm actually going to get a promoted leadership position instead of a lateral one if I take on all this extra shit. And maybe he does. Who knows? Maybe that long game plays out for him correctly. But the old adage, time is money, friend, it really does. The goblins got it right, man. When you got to spend more time doing your job, you expect more money out of it. You do. And I think that's a fair expectation. So, and some people will straight up deny promotions because of that. Like, some people get to a point in their career where they're comfortable with their whole time and money balance, and they appreciate their free time, and they think they're making enough money, so they will straight up block, they don't want to get promoted. I know people who've done that. They will just say, no, I don't want that. I don't want to take on more shit. I'm good where I am. I make enough money, and I still have enough time to do what I want, because you know for a fact that when you get promoted, you're going to have less time. You're going to have more money, but less time. That's just how it's going to work. This guy lost time and didn't get any more money. So he's like, hey, as the goblins say, this shit ain't working. I'm out.
Spawned from hell? Good luck finding them, like, but
No,
still.
that's a tall order.
Yeah.
This is very silly.
I'll be honest. I'm that kind
Just
of employee. I'll
horrendous.
take on more
Kinda
shit in
look at
hopes I
this
get
as like
promoted eventually.
he's lost, his team have lost, the company's lost. Like, it's one of those things. Like, ideally, whole point of the market is to efficient allocation of resources. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's supposed to work.
This is very non-functional.
It doesn't work, yeah.
This is not working.
It's supposed to be in the service of things actually functioning. And it's just not in this case. It's clearly not. Like, I can't imagine how horrible it'd be to be in that situation where, like, I've just done a job and not paid for it for months. Cool, sweet, fine, whatever. But, like, man,
Horrible.
like, how do you not... Well, I mean, I understand the reason why it's not just, there's the picket line, right? Everybody's just standing going, fuck you, until that HR department's refused, we're not working. I know you can't do that, because then you
No.
die.
Yeah.
Because that's the power of,
Can't
that's the power of
sacrifice your
being
life like that.
in the wage cage, like, but it's fucking dire, man.
That's some that's crazy stuff. So There you go. That's the sort of hell that he found himself in.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
imagine this
you learn your
happening
lesson.
in any other capacity of Blizzard. Like, this seems to be a reasonably isolated situation because I haven't seen anyone else say it. Or this literal happened to me, by the way. But it's really grim that a company...
Maybe it's isolated in that it happened to him. It doesn't happen a lot, but I'm sure this happens. And you were too until you got lesson learned. Yeah, I mean, I was too. Like, I came out of law school, and my first job, I was like doe-eyed as shit. I really thought, I'm going to be here forever. I love this place. These people love me. This is the best thing ever. I'm doing great work. They appreciate my work. I'm getting paid good. Oh my God, I'm gonna be at this place for 30 years, 40 years, and retire an old happy man. And you know what happened? A fight broke out between partners. One left, the other one stayed. When the one left, he took a bunch of work with him, and they looked around and said, well, we don't have as much work as we used to. Goodbye, associates. All gone. All gone. And I was like 8 months out of law school, and you know how hard it is to get a job when you're like half-ass trained? You're like half trained, right? You didn't finish your training because you're out of law school and you're learning how to do the job. You got half trained, and now some other place has to pick you up. You're like this broken commodity because you've already been somewhat trained in a certain way, and you got to get fixed in another way rather than just taking a fresh slate out of school. They're taking something. It fucked with me a lot. But I learned my lesson. I was just like, you know what? It's at the end of the day, it's a mutual relationship, and as soon as one side isn't benefiting anymore, they'll just cut you. So don't ever think of a place as like, oh, I love this place and this place love me. They don't exist. At the end of the day, it's just a job. It's sad. But yeah, I learned my lesson too.
A person like this? You imagine even a fraction of this happens with any other staff, and you go, oh, well, I wonder why you aren't having the most success as a video game developer whenever you're not hiring interns, whenever you're getting rid of juniors at the drop of a hat because you don't think them worth giving any accommodations for. And that's where you look at, I think we've said this every time this conversation's come up, you look at the good video games that come out, right? You look at like the actual successes in the industry, and so many of them come from expertise gained over time. Ever you look at the actual good video games that appear, it's always, we have a team. Like you look at Baldur's Gate, and you're like, what they do? They made CRPGs for 1 billion years, and then they kept all, or as many of their staff as they could, and had loads of wisdom and expertise, and then made a game that was just game of the year, free, easy, dominated the entire video games for 6 months. And everyone goes, oh, well, how'd they do that? It must have been the budget.
Right.
It must have been something. It's like, yeah, do you ever consider a team with talent? Do you ever consider skills and experience and knowledge and wisdom, anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever consider that people aren't actually expendable and aren't replaceable? But then you boil them down to numbers in a large enough company, and they have to be.
Yep.
Because you can't bet on experience when you're an HR person and you don't know what people are. You just see walking numbers and walking cogs, and that's how you're trained to feel, right?
Yeah.
And it feels kind of insane like that. Something Iwata, if our employees live in fear of losing their jobs, they will not do a good job. I mean, yeah, that's one of the things. Like, what if this living in an environment like this can't be actually like motivating in any capacity?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the medical industry. My brother-in-law is a doctor. My uncle's a doctor. There's like a lot of doctors in my family, and I mean, I understand the medical industry is a bit different in that you are hyper specialized. There aren't 500 doctors just waiting to walk into the door every time you lay off a doctor. That's, obviously the more in demand your position is and the less people there are to fill that position, the less likely you are to get fired. That's just how it works. But one thing about the medical industry, time is money, friend. Doctors make a lot of money. They also have the least time out of anybody to spend it. Usually, unless they have like a private practice set up and it's going really well, and they could have people gruntlings working under them and all this shit. When you're working for a hospital, from what I've seen, but shit, my brother-in-law he's working like nights, days, weekends, fucking crack of dawn, ass crack of dawn, like all these different hour on demand, got to get called in. That guy has no time. Sure, he's got money. He has no time to spend it though. So, I mean, yeah, they're paying you. The medical industry is different in that. You're getting paid pretty well. But their time, your time, the fucking hospital owns that shit. You better fucking answer when they call. because they'll call it
So you
anytime.
wonder how you imagine the amount of pushing they have to do to go through working like this to actually do a decent job on top of it, which makes Blizzard's current output look like a fucking miracle.
Oh, it
If I'm
really
honest.
does. Yeah.
You're like, how much blood, sweat, and tears must be dribbling around those floors
Yeah.
to have World of Warcraft be a fraction as good as it is today?
It's like that thing. It's, like maintaining efficiency as headcount expands is one of the hardest fundamental things.
Yeah, of course.
God, it must not be good here though.
No, I can't. I imagine. Horror
Yeah.
is like.
So I suppose, yeah, that's
Yeah, people die, yeah. Yeah, that happens.
rough. There's not much else to say
That
about it.
industry.
Is it a uniquely Blizzard thing? No.
No,
It is a company's thing.
it's a company culture or a corporate culture thing.
It is processes failing. It is, it's a whole bunch of failures where the problem is, right? Up and down the chain, everyone's trying to not be responsible for the failure. So they they fall back in the technicality, the rule, the process. What you want is the Josh Greenfield version of this, which is like, yeah, fuck the letter. It's the spirit of the thing that's the point. So I think this is a whole bunch of HR people and managers and stuff all trying to go with the Peace Bloom solution to a GDKP ban. But what does that get us? Well, ultimately it is literally everyone's lost. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations, you lose.
basically. And this shit wasn't, believe it or not, it wasn't always like this. Like, I feel like a lot of, it's the, a lot of boomers don't understand corporate life today. Because you look at a lot of boomers, go look at their, like, if boomers had LinkedIn, you know what their fucking LinkedIns would look like? It'd be like one job, like, Boomer Co. 40 years. That's it. That's their entire experience. I worked at Boomer Co. for 40 years. You guys ever look at like a modern day person's LinkedIn, what it looks like? It's like 2 years, 3 years, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 4. Fucking like 30 jobs in 30 years. You know why? Because it's fucking, that's the corporate culture now. Like, they didn't even used to say family back then, but it was more family back then than it is now. It used to be that you got a job and fucking people would be in that job for their entire life. Now, the way corporations have found out how things could work is lay off, hire cheaper, lay off, hire cheaper, lay off, hire cheaper. Cut it in half. 2 people do the job of 5 people. Lay off, cut them, and then fire those 2 guys and hire 2 guys behind them at a cheaper rate so they could do that job. They, unfortunately, somebody started it and it caught on. Corporations found out that keeping people for 40 years is less profitable than just recycling over and over. And it's led to a decrease in product, production, profitability. Like, they don't, not profitability, but like quality is what I'm trying to say. Like the guy who made your fridge, it's not just material shit. The guy who made your fridge fucking 40 years ago had been making fridges for 40 years, and guess what? He was really good at making fridges. But now you got fucking 10 interns and some guy who was hired 3 months ago making your fridge because they fired the guy who had been doing it for 5 years, and now your fridge is not as good quality as it used to be. Because that experience is constantly being let go. It's not valued anymore. It's not. So it affects everything down the line. Customer service gets fucked over. Quality of products gets fucked over. Quality of life gets fucked over. It's a degenerate cycle. But it's the cycle we live in today. It's just how it is.